Okay. And can everyone see that? I need to see, where is myself? I can't see myself.
Yes, we could see you and
You
your
can see me, but I can't see you. Okay.
nobody that has their everybody else has their video off, so I don't think you'll be able to see anyone else.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna go through this blind, but Elise, are you here? Because I can't see you. So I'm gonna be just
I'm here,
listening to
Giselle.
you. Okay,
I'm here, Giselle.
terrific. All right. It's hard for me to yeah, focus when I can't see a video, but I am just, everyone will bear with me. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our annual business meeting. And Elise is going to check to see if we have a quorum.
We have a quorum.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And now I will call this meeting to order. Again, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks to Kyle and Beth for a terrific conference, and I know we're all enjoying it. Thank you. Let's see, on my next agenda, great. I'd like to do a land acknowledgement. I'm here in Iowa City, Iowa, where I both live and work. Because this meeting is initiated here in Iowa City, I would like to show gratitude and respect to the Iowa, Meskwaki, and Sauk nations, and all other Indigenous peoples who have inhabited this place. On behalf of the NAHP Board of Directors, we wish to acknowledge all First Nations of North America, the land from which this organization derives its name. Thank you. One little point that I saw and that we heard today and yesterday, some of our speakers are tying our work to the spaces that they do their work in. And so that's why I think it's so important that we have a land acknowledgement, that we acknowledge that our work has been made possible by the suffering and the displacement of Indigenous peoples. And we have to acknowledge that. Thank you. Okay. So we must move on next to the approval of prior annual meeting minutes. I wanted to also explain that there's going to be several polls that you're going to see coming on your screen. And if you wish to make a motion or second a motion, you can do so in the chat. And Elise is going to monitor that for me since I can't see anything. And so some of the polls will appear on your screen as several questions. So just be aware of that. And we're going to give everyone a chance to read through those. In the interest of time, we pre-distributed the meetings from last year's minutes, and hopefully you've all got a chance to read those. So now we'll move on to the approval of the prior annual meeting minutes, and this will appear as a poll. Is it appearing as a poll, Elise? There it is. Okay. Is there a motion on the floor? I guess first. Oh yes, there's a motion and there's a second on the floor, I believe. Elise, you will end the poll for me.
Okay, I'm about to end the poll. Okay, it's over. And we have a consensus in the affirmative. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The minutes from last year's meeting have been approved. And now I will introduce, it says I can, I'll let Elise, you do that. Okay. Now I'm going to introduce our Executive Director, Paul Romaine. Paul, are you saying hello?
I am waving.
That's fantastic. Hello, Paul. And next we'll introduce our Secretary, Elise Hochhalter.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. I'm waving, but you can't see me.
Thank you, Elise. Thank you, Paul. Next, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that Beth and Kyle can present our recorded reports from the officers. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lisa Miles, Treasurer of North American Hand Papermakers. This is my 4th year serving on the board. It is an honor to volunteer for such a vital papermaking organization. Here's our statement of financial position at the end of last year. Please take a moment to review the numbers. As of December 31st, 2021, our unrestricted funds totaled $57,220. Our donor restricted assets totaled $19,058. At the end of 2021, our total assets were $76,278. However, the statement shows a liability, the 2021 exhibition catalog, which is still in production, with $2,150 outstanding. So our net assets are $74,128. We plan to cover the cost with previously budgeted funds. Despite an unstable economic climate, we have done our best to maintain our resources. Here's our statement of assets between 2017 and 2021. Please take a moment to review the numbers. Our unrestricted funds include unrestricted and board restricted funds and our general operating reserve of $13,882. Our donor restricted assets include $13,429 for the scholarship fund, $4,692 for the Elaine Koretsky Memorial Presentation, and $936 for the Collegiate Triennial Exhibition Fund. The scholarship fund does not include $3,960 in board restricted funds, which makes the total $17,389, an increase of $1,601 over 2020. In 2021, we moved $4,460 of board restricted scholarship funds from the donor restricted column to unrestricted in this chart. So while it appears there has been a decline in scholarship funds, it is a matter of accounting. Prior years 2018 to 2020 have not been adjusted. As expected, COVID-19 has continued to have an impact on our bottom line. As a response to the ongoing pandemic, the board has continued to host our conferences virtually. In 2020, it was important to the board to make the current conference free to all members. Later in Maria's report, you'll see how our membership numbers have fluctuated as a result of a free conference. That year, our membership numbers peaked, but the increase in members' dues did not offset the loss of potential income. In 2021, our Fluid Practices Conference generated $9,575 of conference income, and it was almost free of expenses with the exception of honoraria and the cost of hosting online. While an in-person conference costs more to produce, it also generates significantly more income, which we rely on to cover expenses in other areas like exhibitions. Nevertheless, the board recognizes the importance of in-person events for the livelihood of our organization and the field. So we're trying to ensure that students and members facing financial hardships can afford to attend the conference. Please consider a donation to our scholarship fund at nahp.betterworld.org. In response to reduced income, we scaled back overall expenses. In 2021, we made financial transparency a top priority, and in 2022, we followed through with that initiative. We began working with a CPA and filed a 990 EZ with the IRS, which provides a more comprehensive view of our financials to the public and grant-making institutions. As a result, our rating on GuideStar, a website that rates nonprofit organizations, has increased from bronze to silver. In addition, we have implemented QuickBooks Online to allow for increased efficiency. Our $3,426 of surplus should be taken with a grain of salt. Our reduced income from dues, conference, and exhibitions in 2021 left us very close to a deficit, which was avoided by using $2,500 of our 2020 surplus and by the receipt of a large restricted donation in December. With inflation and a volatile economic climate, we have been diligently overseeing our finances to ensure our long-term success. We are currently waiting for interest rates to rise before investing in new short-term CDs. We hold a portion of our general funds and scholarship funds in market rate money market funds. It has been our goal to make the most fiscally conservative investments possible, but at the end of the day, we are not fortune tellers. In 2020, $14,000 of our general operating reserve declined by 6% to $13,196 in a short-term bond mutual fund. To date, we have no holdings in the stock market. In 2022 and beyond, We are working towards increasing regular and unrestricted funds to aid in our future planning efforts. At last year's business meeting, we announced our intention to explore ways to fund our new and expanded exhibitions program. Step by step, we are laying the foundation for NAHP to apply for competitive grants to support our programming. Through our efforts to increase our financial transparency with more detailed IRS and state filings, we believe that we become more competitive in the eyes of grant-making foundations. We are carefully considering our long-term investment plan and will strategically act at a more advantageous moment in the near future. Finally, at our last board meeting, the board voted to develop an Indigenous papermaking project grant, which I look forward to working on with our incoming board members, our DEIA committee, and interested members at large. A heartfelt thank you to everyone who contributed donations, which helped to cover conference registration fees for our members facing financial instability. We remain committed to making our programs affordable by offering a number of student scholarships and our Barbara Bradley Scholarship. We truly appreciate your participation and continued support of North American Hand Papermakers as we strive to become more accessible, inclusive, and relevant to our members. Thank you for bearing with me through the numbers. Shout out to all of our outgoing board members for all of their contributions. Now I would like to pass the mic to our inimitable president, Giselle Simone.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We're sad not to see you all in person this year, and I want to let you know that the board of directors considered your feedback about holding an in-person meeting very carefully before deciding to go virtual this year. We know we'll be back in person soon, and we'd love to hear your ideas and suggestions. We thrive with your involvement, so please, when a call goes out for participation, whether it be a call for entries or to submit an article to our Roland branch, your voice is important to us. Speak up and step up. As always, with a volunteer organization, it's the membership, you, that makes it flourish. We look forward to hearing from you as we transition today to a new board. Please join me in congratulating our co-VPs of annual meetings, Beth Sheehan and Kyle Holland, for all their hard work in organizing today's conference activating materials. Thank you to our volunteers, speakers, and panelists, especially our inspiring keynote speakers, Anisha Gupta and Dario Robleto. I want to thank Donna Koretsky for her continued support of the Elaine Koretsky Memorial presentation. Thanks also to our longstanding donor, Dr. Vijay Dewan, for supporting the Anita Lynn Forgash Memorial keynote lecture. We are joined today by 4 student scholars and 3 papermakers as Barbara Bradley Scholarship recipients. Many thanks to every member who contributed to this scholarship fund. We will have our annual scholarship auction next year, but you can still help with this fund this year by visiting the website, and you'll see that address on the screen here. As Lisa Miles mentioned in her treasurer's report, the organization faces some challenges. Our strong financial and membership position allowed us to weather COVID, but we do need to consider the way forward, balancing bold steps with the best financial decisions. We are changing as an organization to meet changes in our field. We must try new things and new ways of communicating, especially in regard to diversity and inclusion. We have terrific new programming, specifically in the area of exhibitions. That will require new funding. The ways in which we engage with members, such as our e-blasts, social media, website, print-on-demand catalogs, artist exchanges, just to name a few, will continue to shift. How will we continue to provide engagement while keeping things affordable to include all members? I am heartened by the next group of members who have stepped up to put their names on the ballot. Again, it's participation and a pooling of our talents that help us move forward. As always, I'd like to thank Virginia Howell and her staff at the Robert C. Williams Museum of Papermaking. They continue to be great stewards of the Dard Hunter collection, promoting paper history and papermaking through all their efforts at the museum. Thank you. I'm thrilled to announce that we have received a generous donation from Sarah Guilford. Sarah is a papermaker and founder of Paper Circle Studio, now located in Nelsonville, Ohio. Having always been a proponent and supporter of hand papermaking, Sarah's gift will enable us to move forward a long-standing goal in developing a grant or fellowship to support the work of an Indigenous papermaker, a cause I mentioned last year. Lisa Miles, our treasurer, has agreed to spearhead the work to develop a program. We welcome further support and will continue to keep you updated through the newsletter and website. Thank you, Sarah, in helping us begin this important work. In an effort to broaden participation and encourage diversity, this past year we established a nominating committee chaired by Catherine Ruffin and included Radha Pandey and Jenna Monastali. They diligently reached out to members and identified those who were willing to serve as new officers, and I am so grateful for their work. The new board will select another committee next year, and I'm asking that you please join in the conversation with your thoughts, suggestions, and willingness to cultivate other potential members, volunteers, or officers. I know that the new president and board would love to hear from you. The DEIA committee started in November of 2020 with Sarah Luco as chair and members Suzanne Glamour, Henry Obeng, Jen Woodward, Ben Iluzada have all been working behind the scenes to ensure that diversity, equity, inclusion, and access are integral to all of NAHP's activities. This work will never be done, and something we all contribute to, and this committee helps guide our practice. A big thanks to the members. You can always reach out to them, and they welcome volunteers. We'll also hear from Tim Barrett shortly, the chair of the Hall of Papermaking Champions, now in its second year as a new program. Tim and the committee have done so much work fine-tuning the process to select our papermaking champions, and we are all indebted to them and applaud what they have accomplished. Thank you. And finally, I extend a huge thank you to our current board, shown here. Thank you, Beth, Josh, Elise, Kyle, Lisa, Maria, and Sanaz for all your hard work on the board, for your enthusiasm and support over the past year. The membership, I know, is grateful for all you have done, and so am I. None of us could have managed without Executive Director Paul Romaine. His institutional knowledge, dedication, and thoughtfulness in everything he does, not to mention his stories and humor, are just a few things about Paul that keep us going, and especially me. It's been a pleasure to work with you, Paul. Thank you. Thank you all for the opportunity to serve as your president for these past 2 years. And I certainly hope you have enjoyed the conference so far, and there's more to come. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Maria Welch, and I am honored to have served on the NAHP board for the past 2 years as the Vice President of Membership and Outreach. I am completing the second year of my term. I am a papermaker, book artist, printmaker, and educator based in Lakewood, Ohio. As of August 31st, we have 310 active memberships. And throughout my term, our membership rates listed below have remained the same. Here are our membership numbers for the past few years. We have consistently remained over 300 active members for the past 2 years, with some slight variance due to pandemic-related income restraints or other issues. But we are anticipating further growth. My priorities and goals and initiatives as the Vice President of Membership and Outreach have been accessible outreach and membership retention and attraction. My primary programming since being on the board has been the monthly mail art exchange. We've had 14 exchanges to date, And the Mail Art Exchange is open to members and non-members alike. It's free to sign up, and we have had consistent participation in the exchange, both with folks who sign up almost every month, but then also reaching people who have never interacted with NAHP before, as well as national and international participants. And it's been really nice to see how this program has evolved and been supported throughout my term. Thank you to everybody who keeps signing up. And then I continue to collaborate with other members of the board to implement new programming membership benefits, as well as prioritizing DEIA initiatives and outreach in order to create greater value to membership without increasing cost. And then just a reminder, we still have these beautiful letterpress printed note cards as premiums for patron members. So when you sign up for a patron membership, we will send you a set of these really beautiful note cards, but they aren't a limited quantity, so sign up today. And lastly, I would just like to thank the board and NAHP membership for supporting me throughout my term. I have enjoyed my time on the board, and I look forward to seeing what NAHP does in the future. And now I will pass it off to our Vice President of Communications, Josh.
Good afternoon, North American hand papermakers and fellow board members. My name is Joshua Orr with the Communications Report. I have just completed my first term as Vice President of Communications. For 2022, my priorities were sustaining our communication to our members, supporting board members with their initiatives, and highlighting members' activities. Through regular monthly newsletters and focus newsletters for the Mail Art Exchange, we increased average participants in said Mail Art Exchange and helped raise awareness and participation in the Collegiate Paper Art Triennial. I want to give special thanks to Beth, Maria, and Sanaz. Without their preparedness, we would not have such vibrant Facebook, Instagram, and email posts. We're still seeking submissions for the fall conference issue of the Bull and Branch. Please send your submissions to me, editor at nahandpapermakers.org by November 23rd, 2022. We seek to publish the next issue by Christmas or within the new year. Future goals for communications are to elevate our more underrepresented community members, encourage membership renewals, and encourage more younger papermakers to join. As always, make sure you're opted in to receive communications from NAHP. Without this explicit consent, we technically can't send you any emails outside of membership renewal. And as always, please send your announcements, exhibitions, workshops, etc. to me, editor at nahandpapermakers.org.
Hi, my name is Sanaz Haqqani. I'm a second VP of Exhibitions for North American Hand Papermakers. It has been an extraordinary honor and privilege to have been given the opportunity to serve as a VP of Exhibitions. I'm a printmaker, papermaker, and educator living in Athens, Georgia. It's a great honor for me to work with the exhibition committee, Joshua Graham, Georgie Cunningham, C.L. Rodriguez, Clina Stasiak, and Leah Bazil-Lazarus. Leah worked with us for more than 4 months. She helped us in finding a venue for the triennial traveling exhibitions and other exhibitions duties. We continue to following the NAHP exhibition goals and mission. Make papermaking more visible and accessible. Provide new opportunities for artists to engage with a broader audience. Inspire future papermakers. Acknowledge the contemporary paper community and past innovation. Encourage a scholarship about papermaking and related topics. The exhibition committee members meet monthly to develop the exhibition's themes and structures. We keep upgrading the exhibition's databases, such as list of artists, publications, schools, and programs related to handmade papermaking, book arts, and fibers, list of jurors and educators, list of museums and art programs related to craft. We are also working with the exhibition venues to organize events during the exhibitions, such as artist talks and workshops. We work together to write exhibitions proposals, press releases, acceptance letters, rejection letters, and reminder announcements. We design a prospectus for the 8th triennial and graphics and videos for the NAHP social media to promote cause and artists. For 2022 conference, we invited all members to participate in the 2022 annual Member Showcase exhibition. Members were asked to respond to the conference-related theme, Activate Material. The exhibition includes 78 elaborate paper pieces from 28 artists. The exhibition is online at the NAHP website. 2022 is the first year that Exhibition Committee has issued and planned an annual call for NAHP members to organize and curate team exchange portfolio to be exhibited during the annual conference. CL Rodriguez organized an open call. Letters are noted for portfolio participants for this year. This portfolio comprises works by 18 artists who made an addition of 25 sheets in size 8 by 11 inches. CL is planning a free virtual portfolio case building workshop for the exchange participants. We will announce the date for the workshop soon. The portfolio will be online at the NAHP website. For the 8th Collegiate Paper Art Triennial, we sent an invitation letter to 300 worthy artists and professors, including 216 schools across the U.S. We received 138 artworks from 83 students from 17 colleges and universities. The triennial jurors Mina Takahashi, Kieran Kong, and Erin Zona selected 40 works by 36 students from 11 schools. On August 30th, Cedar Crest College opened the first 8th triennial traveling exhibition at the Center for Visual Research Gallery in Allentown, Pennsylvania. The exhibition will travel to Evanston Art Center in Evanston, Illinois. Then it will go to Morgan Conservatory in Cleveland, Ohio. And finally, it will go to Linden House Arts Center in Athens, Georgia. The selected artist awards are supported by Minnesota Center for Book Arts, Hand Papermaking Magazine, North American Hand Papermakers, Morgan Conservatory, and Legacy Press. The 8th triennial exhibition can be seen online at the NAHP website. For the 2023 juried exhibition, we will invite paper artists to demonstrate their persistence and insights into depicting the chaos of today's life. We have issued the call and invitation, and we are working on inviting jurors. Please stay tuned. We will announce the call shortly. We highly encourage members to subscribe to the NAHP newsletters to see the exhibition calls and announcements. To help the exhibition committee, please submit to the exhibition calls, curate exhibitions and ideas. Share the exhibition calls with your networks, friends, or students. Help us to share the exhibitions program with scholars and collectors to review. To publish catalog and for different exhibitions, we need volunteers to design the layout for catalogs and volunteers for proofreading. Help us to find venues nationally and internationally. If you are interested in hosting the North American Hand Papermakers exhibition, please indicate your interest at exhibitions@ North American Papermakers.org. None of the exhibition's program work would be possible without the NAHP boards of directors, Giselle Simon, Paul Romain, Elise Hochhalter, Lisa Miles, Kyle Holland, Elizabeth Sheen, Maria Welch, and Joshua Orr. My special thanks go to Drosha Graham for her help and support. In addition, I need to give my special thanks once again for the work of exhibition committee, Georgie Cunningham, C.L. Rodriguez, Clina Stasiak, and Leah Basil Lazarus. I'm looking forward to what we can accomplish in the coming year. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kyle Holland, and I am an instructor and studio manager for the MFA Book Arts program at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Through my research-based artistic practice, I am focused on gaining an understanding of Southern masculine culture and making subversive acts against hegemonic social structures.
And I am Beth Sheehan, an artist, professional printer, and educator who's also currently living in Tuscaloosa. I mostly make work in printmaking, papermaking, and book arts and explore the ideas of episodic memory and my lack thereof. This year's conference ends our terms as co-VPs of annual meetings, so we would once again like to thank everyone that made 2021 Fluid Practices and 2022 Activating Materials successful conferences. With each term, the current VPs of annual meetings have the opportunity to represent the expansive interests of the NAHP membership through organizing annual conferences. During our term, one of our primary goals was to facilitate programming that focused on contextualizing the field of hand papermaking to highlight its relevance and uses in the 21st century. With the Fluid Practices Conference, our selection committee curated programming around the ways in which hand papermaking can adapt to diverse approaches for all kinds of artists, makers, researchers, scientists, and more. As part of this focus on adaptability, last year's conference also emphasized technology's influence on the field.
This year, we encouraged programming that leaned into handmade paper's ability to further ideas and concepts within art. The materiality of paper can bestow deeper meaning and connection in the work through conscious sourcing, concept-focused material choices, and by utilizing techniques that are considered for their conceptual relevance first. We are so thankful to all of you for joining us this year, and we hope you have enjoyed the conference so far. We are so inspired by the papermaking community, all of our presenters, and all of the ways our community connects to other disciplines. Please help us get the word out about NAHP and our programming by sharing your exciting conference-related experiences on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok using the hashtag #ActivatingMaterials.
It has also been a goal of ours to increase accessibility to NAHP's conferences. For both conferences, we implemented a sliding scale registration fee that lowered the cost of student registration and added a financial hardship registration option in addition to the standard registration fee. As a small nonprofit organization, North American Hand Papermakers relies on registration fees, membership dues, and donations to provide quality programming, resources, and scholarships to our members. Because of this need, we also implemented a caring registration option for those who are able to pay above the standard registration fee. We would like to extend an especially warm thank you to all of the members who were able to assist our community through caring registrations and through additional donations.
This year, we also implemented a presenter registration option, which waives the conference registration fee for individuals who are presenting at our annual conference. This change was intended to promote equality in NAHP's model of conference organizing to equalize access to participation in conferences and increase diversity in attendance. The result of this change is that those in the general membership who are in attendance at NAHP conferences, including this year's conference, will have the opportunity to learn about research, scholarship, developments, and innovations from a more diverse set of thinkers and practitioners.
Another way we have increased accessibility during our term is by offering video recordings of all conference programming for Fluid Practices and Activating Materials. The video recordings include captions and transcripts of the presentations as well. We have also implemented a digital access pass that members can purchase to receive these recordings if they were unable to purchase registration prior to the conference. The recordings of the 2022 virtual conference will be automatically emailed to all of those who have registered for the conference or purchased the digital access pass, roughly 3 weeks from now.
We would like to extend our thanks and appreciation to the following individuals: Melissa Green, who designed the conference logo, branding guidelines, and program for both the 2021 Fluid Practices and this year's Activating Materials conferences. Lisa Hick, who served as a guest reviewer alongside this year's selection committee to review proposals and scholarship applications that were submitted for our 2022 conference. Kelsey Horn and Kate Bennett, current MFA Book Arts graduate students at the University of Alabama who have volunteered their time to help us facilitate our virtual conference. Please join us in giving a special shout out to Kelsey Horn, as it is her birthday today. NAHP relies on the generosity of volunteers to bring you the leading technical innovations, research, and scholarship in the field of hand papermaking.
In closing, we would like to again thank our wonderful presenters and all of the members who have made this conference possible. Best of luck to the next co-VPs of annual meetings. Next, I would like to introduce Virginia Howell, Director of the Robert C. Williams Museum of Papermaking.
Good afternoon. I am Virginia Howell, Director of the Robert C. Williams Museum of Papermaking, located in the Renewable Bioproducts Institute at Georgia Tech. Founded in 1939 by paper historian Dard Hunter, the museum now holds approximately 100,000 objects and 10,000 books that explore the history of paper and papermaking. Our mission is to collect, preserve, increase, and disseminate knowledge about papermaking, past, present, and future. Museum consists of myself, the museum director, Jerusha Graham, who is our museum coordinator and curator, Anna Dahl, the education curator, and a recent addition, Nazreen Khan. Nazreen holds a one-year postdoctoral position with us. She has a PhD in materials science engineering from Georgia Tech and is spending quite a bit of her time focusing on translating high-level scientific information into content that is understandable by the general public. Her main project will be developing the Paper Science Technology Gallery, which explores the future of paper. Nazreen will be with us through June 2023. The museum also relies on volunteers and students for much of the work we accomplish, from preparing for workshops to assisting with tours to photographing objects and developing content for Artifact of the Month, and also using their technological skills for object conservation and for database management. This dedicated group keeps us moving forward. Since the last North American Hand Papermakers meeting, the museum has been busy with numerous projects and exhibits. Wildlife opened just prior to last year's conference. A juried exhibition by the Guild of Bookworkers, the show featured 50 works that interpreted the theme in any manner chosen by the artist. Fiber Plus Pulp opened in January 2022 and was an in-house exhibit exploring different fibers used in papermaking through a collection of objects known as the Fiber Library, or Fibrary, that came from the Institute of Paper Chemistry. While we were showing Fiber Plus Pulp, we also exhibited Radical Generosity, Thomas Lux and Jean Duval editions, which was developed out of the senior thesis of a museum student and explored the literary contributions of Georgia Tech professor Tom Lux through his publishing imprint. At the beginning of August, we opened a community of artists, African American works on paper from the Cochran Collection. Wes and Missy Cochran of LaGrange, Georgia, have been collecting art for over 40 years and have a phenomenal collection that focuses on women artists and Black artists. 50 works are in the show, which explores the themes of community, women artists, and Georgia as an influence on artists who live or were born here. And we also consider the significance of print houses in developing artistic communities. Artists in the show include Emma Amos, Jacob Lawrence, Robert Blackburn, Betty and Allison Saar, and Romer Bearden. The museum resumed in-person programs last fall, but continued to host virtual programs. We received a grant from the Georgia Humanities Council to fund the book, Past, Present, and Future, last fall, and we have had 2 of 3 virtual talks related to a community of artists. Nancy Jacoby spoke about washi to an enthralled audience, and Lisa Miles shared about bark papers. We are planning our spring series now, and we'll have programs tied to upcoming exhibits. Our in-person visitation numbers are returning to pre-pandemic levels, and we just held a flax papermaking workshop with Colleen Lawrence, and we'll be doing a screen print workshop with Jamal Barber in a few weeks. Family programs continue to be available online and in person, and you can check things out on our YouTube channel as well as through links on our homepage. Last fall, the museum implemented an NEH Preservation Assistance Grant to evaluate the condition of our bark papers and tappa and to plan for appropriate care of the objects. Our initial survey suggested about 120 objects in the collection, but we discovered 360 and have found a few more since then as well. Conservator Stephanie Watkins was contracted to perform the evaluation. In preparation, museum staff pulled objects into a staging area in collections and developed a spreadsheet with accession information. The second week of November was all hands on deck, and we spent an intense week reviewing and documenting each piece. Pieces include beaters and stone tools used for preparation of materials, Dard Hunter's works, which included samples of bark paper, matrices, and tools for imprinting designs onto the bark paper, and several hundred examples of tappa and bark papers from around the world. Watkins' conclusions revealed that the collection is in good condition and is currently suitably cared for in terms of storage. There is room for improvement, of course, and that is our next phase. We will be consolidating pieces into boxes so that all objects of the same sort are together. Additionally, we have large rolled pieces that need thicker protection between layers. Currently, photos of the objects are being taken, glamour shots, if you will. And we will be developing a simple online exhibit of the objects to make them more accessible to people. This is being worked on by Jerusha and a student who is a computer science major. Incoming gifts this year have included works from Frontline Papers and Alexandra Soteru and from Dorothy Field. We are also the repository for North American Hand Papermakers mail art program. Art pieces are sent to the museum. We photograph and house them in the permanent collections and post the art on a virtual exhibit that is found at the site listed on the screen. With in-person experiences increasing, we have been able to have visitors come to the museum for research experiences. In May, 3 Korean paper researchers visited to examine a Korean mold that was collected by Dard Hunter and also historic Korean papers from our collection. They are working to reverse engineer papers that have been lost to history in terms of their making process, and they are looking to rediscover that. Keep up with what we are doing by visiting our website, check out our social media, or join us for a virtual program if you can't join us in person. We'd like to thank North American Hand Papermakers for your continued support of the museum and recognize that support takes many forms, from financial to program participation to sharing with others about the museum. Thank you for your time.
Great. Thank you so much, Virginia. That was fantastic to hear. And thank you to all the officers for their reports. Wonderful to hear what we've done over the past year. It's a great accumulation of things. Okay, now I'll do this one more time. And now, let's see, slideshow. Can everyone see my slideshow? Elise?
It's on my side. I see your yellow arrow, but the rest
It's
looks
just
gray.
a yellow arrow. Great. Okay. We'll try that one more time. One second, everyone. How about now? Nope. Still just a yellow arrow.
Still just a yellow arrow, but Giselle, I think it's okay if you just share your screen without pressing the slideshow button. And then because we can see the text then.
Fantastic. Thanks, Elise. There we go. Can everyone see that?
I can see it.
Terrific. Okay, thanks everyone. You can see that at our yellow arrow, we are now at approval of the reports. And I'd like to ask if anyone has any questions from the floor or from the chat. Elise, you'll have to look at the chat for me since I can't.
I'm monitoring the chat. No questions yet.
Okay. I'm going to see if I can minimize this. No, I can't. Okay, we'll just give it one more pregnant pause. Okay, is there anyone who objects to accepting the reports as submitted? So that's just a question I'm asking. And if there are no objections, Elise?
I do not see any objections.
Then the reports have been approved. Thanks, everyone. Wonderful. Okay, now we're going to move on to the elections. Let's see if I can get that one up. Election of officers. And Elise, I'm going to hand the microphone over to you.
Okay, hi everybody. We hope that you had time to review the officers that the board is asking you to approve. We sent those bios to you in an email approximately 30 days ago. Just as a reminder, for president, we asked the membership today to approve Nicole Donnelly for president. For vice president of membership, we're asking the membership to approve Colleen Lawrence. For the co-vice president for annual meeting, we're asking for the membership to approve both Catherine Liu and Kate Morrick. And for secretary, we are asking the membership to approve Elise Hochhalter, me. Just as another reminder, we did receive proxy votes from several people. I'm going to read their names. If any of these people are present in today's meeting, please do not vote in the live poll. So if I read your name, please again, do not vote in the live poll because we've already recorded your vote. Jerusha Graham, Beth Kephart, Margaret Ryan, Tatiana Ginsburg, Don Widmer, Aimee Lee, Suzanne Glamoe, Peter Swiskey, and Debbie Dragon. So again, if you are present for this meeting, we thank you for your presence, but please do not participate in the live poll. And I'm going to send that poll out right now.
Thank you, Elise.
Did you get it, Giselle? Did people get it?
Maybe we could have a confirmation from someone in the chat that they received the poll.
Oh,
we are still waiting on the poll.
Oh, I didn't launch it yet. Sorry about that.
Okay. There it is. Okay.
Okay, and I'm gonna let this run for a little, maybe a minute. Okay, Giselle, we have a consensus in the affirmative for all of the proposed candidates.
Fantastic. Thank you all. Thank you all for voting. Congratulations to our new slate of officers. Welcome to the board of NAHP. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming forward. Nicole, Colleen, Catherine, Kate, and Elise for another second term. Thank you. All right, we're going to move on. Oh, and I forgot to share this slide. There they are. Thank you. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate your service. Okay, moving right along, we have a bylaws amendment. And you should have also received this ahead of time. And I'm going to put it out there in the chat. Are there any questions or discussion? If there are, we're going to turn the mic over to our Executive Director, Paul Romaine, to answer any questions. Elise, do you see any questions?
Let's see. I do see a question from Michael Durgan, but it looks like Paul has already answered that. Just for transparency, Michael Durgan asks clarification, please, consensus or majority approval. Paul, do you want to take that?
Sure. For the officers, it is a majority. For amending the bylaws, it's actually 2/3 of all people present or voting via proxy.
Reminder, everyone, again, for this live poll, we're going to ask that anyone who did submit a proxy to not participate in the live poll. So I will push that poll out right now unless there are any other questions.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll just let the poll run for another 10 seconds. Paul, correct me if I'm wrong. I do believe we have approval of these bylaws changes when we take into account the proxies.
Actually, and my apologies, I misspoke earlier. Giselle, you probably should recognize me, but I'll speak up anyway. I said 2/3 of people present, it's 2/3 of people voting. Because not everyone present is voting, and
okay.
Thank you, Paul.
I think we have that. We have a consensus in the affirmative.
Great. Okay, thank you all, and thank you, Elise and Paul, for helping us to move through the bylaws amendments. Okay, and now we are on to new business. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to invite Tim Barrett to become visible to us all. Tim.
Hi, can you hear me all right?
There you are. Great. Thanks for joining us. Take it away, Tim.
Okay, great. I'm going to try to do what Giselle tried to do, and it didn't quite work for her, but let's just see here. Hang on just a second. I need to get to my and I want to try to share my screen here.
Tim, if it doesn't work, I can share screen and you can tell me to advance slides too. So.
Let's see here. My problem here is I want to be. No, for some reason I'm not.
Tim, don't click that share button. That share button is to share the editing ability.
You can just click slideshow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Now this looks like it's working, right?
Yes, it looks great.
Hello, everyone. Really happy to be here in person. On behalf of my fellow committee members, Nicole Donnelly, Mary Hark, Mina Takahashi, Joko Vuret Feliciano, and Dart Hunter III ex officio, I'm happy to share with you our 2022 report. The North American Hand Papermaking Champions Committee considers all individuals nominated by the membership and selects individuals or teams who have significantly impacted or changed the field of hand papermaking. This year, the committee considered 21 nominees, including 6 nominees from 2021 who were not finalists last year. We asked the membership to consider the following 6 2022 finalists: Tom Balbo, founder of the Morgan Conservatory, an artist; Lilian Bell, author of seminal works on paper pulp preparation from plant fibers; Susan Gosin, co-founder of Dudene Paper Studio, papermaker, and paper and book artist, paper historian; Helen Hiebert, papermaker, author, and artist; Aimee Lee, papermaker and influential author on Korean papermaking and related craft techniques; and Paul Wong, innovative papermaker and I can't see my title here, and artistic director of Dudene, mentor and artistic director of Dudene. The North American Papermakers organization and the Champions Committee enthusiastically encourage new nominations each year by using the Champions page at the North American Hand Papermaking website. At this time, in my role as chair of the committee, I respectfully move that all nominees in this year's slate be approved by the membership.
Thank you, Tim. Is there a second on the floor?
Second.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm about to launch the poll.
Thank you.
Okay, we have an overwhelming consensus in the affirmative.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. The new slate of Hall of Papermaking Champions has been approved by the membership.
Okay, great, everyone. Let's see, hang on a second. Let me back up. Here we go. The Champions Committee would like our fellow members to know that we are currently discussing with the board a plan to increase membership participation in the committee decision-making process. Please check the Champions page after April 1st, 2023 for late developments in this regard and to view nominating instructions. Finally, I'd like everyone to know that the current committee, our terms expire after 1 more year. So if you are interested in being considered to serve on the Champions Committee or have any other related questions, please contact Executive Director Paul Romaine at paul@northamericanhandpapermakers.org. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Tim. Tim, do you want to leave your slideshow on the screen and just advance it to the next one?
Sure.
Great.
But it doesn't want to advance. Why is
Okay.
that?
Okay.
Oh, there. Wait.
Oh.
It's
I
just
thought
a
that might
little-
save us
it's
a
a little.
step.
It seems a little slow.
We just have one more slide for everyone, so I thought it might be easier for Tim to
Yeah.
stay.
No, I don't know. I'll stop sharing here. Hang
Okay.
on a second.
Great.
But now You want that slide, don't you, Giselle? We want that
I
slide.
do. I
Yeah.
do.
Here,
Do you-
let's see.
You want to do it one more time, Tim?
Well, let me try here. Oh, gosh.
I put you on the spot. That's okay, Tim. I'll just bring it up and then
Okay.
no
Sorry.
problem. No worries. But then I can't see everyone, so everyone will have to everyone will have to tell me what's going on.
That looks good.
Okay. That's the most important thing. We want you to be able to reach us all. Also, I need to ask the membership if there is any new business that properly comes before this assembly. Elise, anything in the chat that you see?
I am monitoring the chat. If anyone would like to bring new business to the table, please let us know in the chat. Even if you don't have time to type in your new business, let us know that you have new business. And
That's correct. And you
on-
can contact, right? Sorry. You can contact us at these easy new communications. Thanks to Josh Orr.
So I don't see any new business, but as Giselle said, please do write to any of us or all of us.
Fantastic. Okay. Then, is there anyone who objects to adjourning this meeting? Again, Elise.
I can't imagine that anyone would object, but then again,
And we'll
maybe
write it.
I'll give everyone time to object.
Okay.
I
And
don't
we'll
see
write it time. While Elise is looking at the chat, I just want to again thank everyone for joining us this afternoon and for participating, especially in our votes, our very important business. Congratulations to our new officers. Congratulations to our new Hall of Papermaking champions.
Okay, Giselle. No
Okay.
objections.
Fantastic. Thank you all. Please enjoy your break and then return for the final panel. Thank you so much. This meeting is adjourned.